and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn, and today I'll be making a pretty quick card because I am going to work with some digipapers and this pre-colored darling bud. She is, I believe, the crocus flower. And I wanted to use this pattern paper that has all the musical notes, but the original design was actually pink, and I wanted to have it coordinate a little bit better with the crocus flower. That is how the darling bud is colored, and so I color tinted it and shifted it towards this more lilac color. And I'm trying to figure out, I've got so many different options for this circle here. I want it to have 3 layers, but I don't know which combination of 3 colors I want to use. So I've got white, which I think helps to set it against the music note pattern paper, and then I've got sort of a light lilac color or lavender maybe, and I wanted to go darker because the way that I've cut out the darling bud, I did leave a little bit of a white border all around, and so I thought maybe having a dark background would help set her apart a little bit, especially since when she comes back on camera, you'll see her dress is light colored too. So what I decided to do was just to use my Distress Oxide ink to ink up a little bit of this cardstock here that is, I think, 65 pound. I couldn't find, you saw me bring in my little swatch of cardstock, and I couldn't find a color that I liked. So I'm just going to make my own colored cardstock. And I will use the same die to cut out the scallop circle, which every time you run it through, you get 3 parts that you can use, and I often like to use all 3. So now that I have this option, I'm playing again with different ways to combine those 3 sections, and I still like having the white at the outermost, and I'm going to put the darkest on the inner and then I wanted to add a little bit of ribbon, so I've got these different ribbons that have some coordinating pearls, flatback pearls with them as well, so I'll use those a little bit later. And I will just wrap this around. Now, I actually didn't, as it turns out, because my circle is so large, it's actually going to cover most of it, so I didn't really need to wrap it across the entire front of this card, especially since this is it's a mini slimline card. So my card base is actually only 3.5 wide by 5.5 tall. And I find mini slimlines really fun to work with because they are a smaller canvas, so it's really easy to actually, you just need a couple, one focal image, some shape dies, and your sentiment, and some beautiful pattern papers, and you're good to go. So I really have been making more and more mini slimline cards because, especially in a pinch, it's really a quick card to put together. And I think it helps to also make your focal image stand out more too. And one thing that's kind of fun to do is also to just do a partial cut of your nested shape dies, because it just makes it look a little bit interesting when it's cut off of the edge there and it looks like it's just running off the page. So it's just a little something different, a little bit something to create some interest. Now I got this on a little bit crooked, and because this is printed on just regular paper, it's not cardstock, I'm using my little spatula here to gently kind of release that, help pry up this paper, and I find that works really well to avoid tearing. And so now, because I've touched all of that adhesive, I'm going to add some Kalau all-purpose glue, which is a solvent-based glue. So because it's not water-based, it won't warp my paper, and it's going to add, in fact, some extra strength to this, because when it dries, it'll dry rock hard. And it does also have a pretty long open time too. So if I needed to move that around some more, I could. Okay, so I had a little bit of glue that oozed out, but that's the great thing with the Kalau glue, is that just let it dry and then you can rub it right off, because it is solvent based. It won't actually absorb into your cardstock. So you can just use a gum eraser, or you can just with your finger just rub it, and it'll that adhesive will kind of ball up, and you can peel that off easily. And so my card is almost complete. I just now need to add my darling bud girl here. And I thought about putting the circles onto some foam, but I thought instead I'll attach that flat to the card base and put foam on behind the darling bud instead, and have her lifted from the card. I think that makes her even more prominent as a focal image. And so I'm just using some of my low profile foam. So this foam is only 1 millimeter thick, and that way it'll still ship. It'll still be an easy mailer. It won't be too thick to go through the mail and, have to require extra postage. And this way, there's just, anytime you attach anything with foam and give it that extra dimension, it also gives it that extra sort of shadow when you look at it. So I think that helps to kind of set her apart off of the background as well. And then I'm going to use, since I used the yellow ribbon as sort of an accent color, I'm going to use some of these small yellow pearls as additional accent on the card, especially since she does have some yellow flowers on her as well. And this will be a really quick thank you card. So I've also attached a little bit of foam to this, but part of it's going to be on the card base itself, and then part of it is going to be overlapping the circle. So I just used some 3D glue gel on the portion that's covering the circle, because I don't know exactly what height I need to get it to, so that's why the glue gel is great. You just need to push it down to where you feel like it's level, and you're good to go. So that's my card for today. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing. And if you want to catch new videos as I post them, consider subscribing to my channel and ringing the notification bell. Thanks so much, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.